There he is, locked and loaded and ready to go. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm good, man. How you been?
Good. Can't complain. What'd you think of the team's performance against the Bills on Sunday?
Impressive for what it was and what they were left with from a talent standpoint. I'm a little surprised it was more of a fourth quarter game than most expected. I think most Dolphin fans, if they were really honest with themselves, they would admit the same thing as well.
45-10 is what they were expecting.
Who was expecting 45-10?
I mean, it's Vegas. I mean, they had them up by 13 and a half, 14 points. They were expecting an ass kicking. That's kind of what it was expected. Come on, deep down inside, you kind of were fearing an ass kicking. And the fact that they hung in there, they should have won the game if it wasn't for Mike McDaniel, to be quite honest. Mike McDaniel has been a terrible game day coach. That is one thing that he has left to be desired. How he mismanages the clock and his timeouts, doesn't know when to stay running the ball, can't figure out how to keep Gesicki on the field when all he did was help him in the last month making plays. Do something, bro. Adjust to what you have, and that's the one hole in his game that he's got to learn. Which, Omar, when you think about it, he's a new head coach, and then he's a new head coach that took on the offensive coordinator position. So that's a bitch as it is for any human being to handle, much less a rookie who then says, "Oh no, I'll be the head coach and the offensive coordinator." That's really, really tough.
I'm trying to look up right now real quickly where they finished in the NFL in offensive yards and ranked and all that good stuff because
no, it's great. No, they did great in that area.
I mean, you can't say something is great and statistically it shows you that it's good and then say, oh well, it was horrible the first year. Like
No. Game day decisions. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with productivity. But your productivity doesn't – when you can't get the play in on 4th and 1 and you make it 4th and 6 on your 7th rounder, you screwed him, bro. And when it's 3rd and 19 and you make him throw a ball to – you put him in a situation, bro, just throw it underneath or run. Don't make him do that. That's an interception. Yeah. Just stupid shit, bro. You're gouging the Green Bay Packers at 9 yards a carry and here's 3rd and 3 and you decide to run, to pass – you're gouging the Bills at 7 yards a carry, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. His game management sucks.
Oh man, Big O.
I'd love to sit in a room by myself with him and say, like, what the fuck were you thinking here, dude? What are you doing? Like, come on, it's 4th and 1. Get the goddamn play in there. Get the first down. You might end up – Jason Sanders is hitting field goals. You're going to tie this game. Worst case scenario. You get lucky with Tyreek or Waddle. Hell, man, you might score a touchdown and win the damn game and surprise the entire world.
It's an issue. Needs improvement. The challenge is, probably somebody else needs to be in that role. Sucks. I don't know if I'd go that far, but certainly needs work. It's an area of concern.
Brother, in the Buffalo game alone, you lost that game practically outside of Tyreek and Trent dropping touchdowns, but you put Braylon Sanders in a position that he wasn't ready for. And Tua throws a beautiful strike down the middle of the field and the kid stops, and that would have been a touchdown. You know what I mean? Just there are things along the way that you could just look at, and he kind of hurt his team.
I mean, personnel. Okay, if Braylon Sanders has been hitting that play every time they run in practice, we don't know all the variables. We don't know all the factors between personnel selections and choices. We do know the Mike Gesicki factor because 3 different coaches had the exact same issue with him. So. It's not a surprise that he doesn't fit. Me and you argued it for years.
But that doesn't matter. You decided
you just wanted to be used him. Okay. And then when he uses them, he's telegraphing.
Why bring him back? Why bring him back then?
I said that to you when free agency, and you looked at me like I had a third eye.
Exactly, because he's a playmaker. Uses that. Listen, if you got somebody better,
doesn't fit your offense,
then that's fine. I get that, dude. But I've seen coaches that have players that don't fit what they do, but they at least milk them for what they are. And if you watch the last
he's
month,
a slow slot receiver.
But if you
rather have a real slot receiver, then go with the real slot receiver.
This season, a nice big target like that would have helped. Watch the last month. All he did was make plays, dude, and score touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's all he did last month. They used him
for your least productive offensive outputs. But yes, I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's I don't know. I'm dying to see what he does in year 2. I'm dying to see him fire Boyer, and possibly Crossman. I think he could do
Crossman
better.
for sure is getting fired. I don't know about Boyer. I think Boyer stays unless they get a big name.
I don't
think you'll see another young defensive coordinator replace a young defensive coordinator. I think, and the Fangio thing doesn't look like it's going to happen because it looks like he's going to go with Peyton.
Yeah, of course.
So if he's going with Peyton, then unless you're getting a Fangio type, which of course I can understand anybody getting an established guy like that, I don't think you fire him. I don't think you fire him. He did a good job in that game, by the way.
He did. He did. One of his better performances. No mistake about that.
Shut down the Jets the week before, 6 points, allowed you to win a game.
Jets are horrible.
But you did your job. You did your job.
You know what? One of my co-hosts, Leger Duzable, on I Am Athlete Tonight, and he's a big Jets fan, and he always pointed this out, and I got to acknowledge that he's right. When Dolphin fans are celebrating and popping their collar and telling people how good they are, they're beating up on trash. And that's the thing.
Like Baltimore down 21 and beating Buffalo too? Is that trash?
That's different. That's before Miami fans started getting arrogant and celebrating and telling you how good they were. What are you drinking?
Well, that's part of being arrogant and being celebrated. My man, when have you seen them play 3 games like this against the Bills? They're right there.
That's a very good point. I don't think
go tell your co-host that. Go tell your co-host.
I don't think the Bills were. I think the Bills took Miami lightly.
Oh God, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Oh, stop it!
Get the hell out of here. You don't take any division opponents lightly because the shittiest opponents like the Jets will beat the Bills.
The
Patriots
what I'm saying is
the ball all game long and beat you 6-3 like they did last year.
I felt like when the Jets were playing, like when the Jets wanted to score, they scored. Like let's be real about that. Like when they need to score, they were like, all right, let's go. And
who you mean the Bills? You're saying, not the Jets.
When the Bills, yes. I feel, and this is not taking anything away from how Miami fought them and played and made it a 4th quarter game. I feel like the Bills were holding back, trying not to show their hand for Cincinnati.
That's terrible.
No, it's valid. It was come on.
No, it's not. It's not even close to valid,
bro. Like
the fact that you think anybody pretty much downplays a divisional game. Unless you're playing a divisional opponent in week 16,
Miami had
2-14, you will not downplay any divisional game.
Miami shouldn't have been in that game. We're being honest with each other. Miami should not have been in that game. Correct? Yes, no, correct?
I'm sorry. Miami should have won 3 weeks ago, and Miami beat them in the first time. I'm not sure.
Yes.
There's a reason why I brought up all
starting quarterback.
My man, there's a reason why I brought up all 3 games because it's there. They're right. As depleted as the Dolphins were with their 3rd quarterback, they hung in there with the Bills, and they gave the Bills anything and everything that they could handle. 3 weeks ago, Tua did everything in that game to beat their ass, and Mike McDaniel and some of Tua's teammates fucked up that game, and that's why they lost that game. The Bills didn't win that game. The Dolphins handed them that freaking game. And
Okay.
the Dolphins handed them game on Sunday
So are you saying the gap has been
because
closed?
Mike McDaniel's goofy ass can't make right
Oh,
decisions
stop
on the
it. He's a
sideline.
genius to you 6 months
He
ago.
is.
Now he's a goofy.
No, he is
He's always
no
been goofy.
offensive. No, wait a minute. Offensively, he's a genius. Game day, he's a goofball. He's got to fix that part.
He's always been a
Everything else
goofball.
about him, guys play hard for him. He connects with his players. He knows football. Play design is sick. Some of the shit he had designed on Sunday was absolutely awesome that he did. But, dude, you got to get plays in organized. You got to know when to hold your timeouts and keep them for later on. You got to be able to know when to run the ball, when you got to keep knowing when to run. You got to use talent when you have it. There are things that he does that are wrong. That doesn't mean that he's a bad coach. That doesn't mean that he doesn't know what he's doing. It's just there's one area in his game. There's a big ass hole in his game, and that's game day coaching. That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying to fire him. I love the guy. I think this is what I told Dolphin fans. This season ended with a shit ton of great what ifs. Normally you end with, oh, bro, we suck. We can't do this. We can't do that. Whatever. If you stay healthy,
what ifs.
I've
spent 15 years covering what ifs.
Okay, but the difference is if this team actually stayed healthy, it could have made noise, serious noise in the playoffs. You've never said that about a Dolphin team in 25 years. Never.
If this team would stay healthy,
you see how quiet you are.
But hold on. And I'm thinking about what you said. But if Baltimore would have stayed healthy, they would have made noise. If
they never make noise with that quarterback in the playoffs.
If Tennessee would have stayed healthy, they would have made noise. You could say that about a lot of teams. Like,
okay, but Tennessee has been making noise for years, my man.
Okay, so
as long as you have a defense and Derrick Henry,
merry-go-round.
The Dolphins never make any noise. This was the year that they were making noise.
So, okay, I see where you're coming from. You're thrilled and pleased that you're off the mediocrity merry-go-round. You're actually a team of relevance now, and you're like, yes, let me celebrate.
Huh? A few breaks. A few breaks, bro. Too many injuries.
Yeah,
I need breaks.
Okay. All right. I see where you're coming from, because when I'm saying what ifs, every year's I covered 15 years of what ifs. If we did this,
bro, I get it. You're beaten down. And it doesn't
but
allow you
you're saying my what ifs 15 years ago was mediocrity to relevant. Yeah, your what ifs are,
dude, you're coming back with Gus Frerotte. You're coming back with Ryan Tannehill. You're coming back with what? AJ Feely. The best thing about AJ Feely was his wife, not AJ Feely. That's my point. You're coming back with shit. You're coming back with like, this is our team. What, I got to come back with Wanstead. I got to come back with Joe Philbin. What, you're extending him after a meaningless win against Minnesota? This is a completely different feeling. So this guy knows offense. So you got the best quarterback you've had in 25 years. If you could stay healthy, you could have been a pretty impactful team in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You're celebrating from the graduation from mediocrity to respect.
Yes, I think you've taken that next step, that if you have a little luck and add a couple of the right players this offseason, I think the Dolphins are a contender, bro.
What money? I am not objecting to what you're saying. I hear where you're coming from. You're just happy and celebrating the fact that you're off the mediocrity merry-go-round. And if you've been on it for 20 years, okay, it's good to celebrate that. Now, consistency is what allows you to build. Now, we've always had success first year of coaches, generally, except for Brian Flores, and then fizzle out. So we'll see.
Right. No, of course, it's all we will see. But I really like, I'm looking for. I think Jalen Phillips is about to freaking bust out next year. I think it's just one of those things.
I'll be honest. I don't know. There was so much meat left on that bone, And Jalen Phillips was one of the guys
He played
that
well. Played well.
he played well. He played okay, but he didn't play up to my expectations. I think he's a force. And
That's what I think. And year 3, I think, is where I think it's all coming together, dude.
He must
really
have missed a dozen sacks. Like,
yeah, there was like he was close, but that's the thing. If you watch him, the motor never stops. The guy got better against the run. I'm watching him push
he's got the
tackles
talent
now.
to be one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. He must have missed.
I think, and listen, people used to pick on Christian Wilkin his first couple of years. Oh, not enough, enough. And it grew and it grew and it grew, and he's a force now. And I think that's what's happening with Jalen Phillips. In fact, I was explaining earlier that he has an advantage.
He's a
over
good
Jason
player.
Taylor.
He's not a force. Don't do that.
Oh, he's going to be a force. Watch this. And
there's
one
more
of the advantages. Listen to me. One of the advantages.
You think Christian Wilkins could do more?
Oh yeah, no, I think. Oh yeah, I think Christian Wilkins. Yes, I think Christian Wilkins will be even more of a pass rusher. Yes, I think he's going to become an even bigger force as time goes on. He's too driven, dude. He's too much of a good player with a great character and work ethic. And on top of all of that, he is relentless, like physically and mentally. Like he will get at you mentally and physically on the field. I think the world of Christian Wilkins. Yes.
I am shocked and stunned because.
Well, you were shocked and stunned he played this well. You weren't even realizing how well he was playing a few weeks ago on this show.
No,
and then you looked at the stats, you said, holy shit. And then you lied because he's a freaking stud, bro. And I think he will add more in the pass rush. And let me finish, because Jalen Phillips, I think next year has the breakout pass rush year. His body's filling out. The advantage he has over JT is he already has a bigger frame than JT. And the strength is coming in. And I remember with JT, he was so skinny, it took him the 3rd and 4th years to really be able to, hold up against a run, where I think Phillips is already getting there to that point. And I think Phillips next year, I just think the knowledge and everything else, you bring back Sealer, you bring back Wilkins, I think Phillips, and then you get a healthy Chubb hopefully next year. I think things start to really change for this defensive line, man. And I think Phillips and Wilkins will just get better and better. And Phillips next year, I think, has his bust out 10+ sack year.
Man, Christian Wilkins was 2 tackles away from 100 tackles, which is a phenomenal number.
Beastly.
Yeah.
Beastly. How many sacks? How many sacks did he have?
He had 3.5, which is short of his career
record. Not bad. But I bet you, watch him get to 6 or 7 next year,
bro. That's crazy talk. Like I believe he's at the shelf of what he could do, and he should be proud of himself. Like you're talking about next level. He's getting to the Aaron.
No, that's double digits. And no, let's not get crazy now.
Okay.
Nobody will ever be at that level right now. I have not seen a guy like that.
Is he Randy Starks?
Yeah. He could be a Randy. I think he could be actually a more athletic Randy Starks, because he is more athletic than Randy Starks.
Woo, that's interesting that you say that, because I never thought about that. I don't think
Randy was a mover and a shaker. Randy was a guy. He had the power he had at the point of attack was just sick. He can shed guys like nothing. You know what I mean? He was a good player, man. He was a good addition to this team for several years.
You don't remember
that? What's it called? Let me ask you an interesting question, because I tackled it before you came on. I think if you're the Dolphins, it behooves you to give Tua the 5th-year option.
Why is that even being debated? Like, who's the dumb that thinks that they shouldn't give it to him? Like, unless you're going to go for Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, and I'm not even going for Tom Brady.
No, he's done.
There's a second leader. There's a second odds favorite for Tom Brady in Vegas, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah, no,
I think. And I'm not. I'm riding with Tua. This is there's unless not even Lamar Jackson. I'm riding with Tua. I'm good. Like
right, and you agree with me, right? Because You're better off giving him the 5th-year option because if the kid comes back motivated to like
and
freaking
stays
stay
healthy.
healthy and get rid of the ball and stays
He plays
healthy,
17
and
games.
he
Oh my
pays
God.
attention, right? You're going to have to give him 300 million. So now you save yourself in that 5th year. That then the extension won't start till year 6. Plus, it gives you that 5th year to see him do it again.
He's not playing on that 5th year. I can promise
No,
you
he's
that.
not playing on the 5th year. You're already negotiating between years and 4 and 5. I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
but
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 yes,
you'll
buy
feel better
yourself some
about the
time.
process.
And in fact, I might force him to play on that 5th year and then just franchise tag him. I'm not me
You could do
personally,
that.
I'm not paying him until she shows me he can stay healthy for 2 years.
You know what? I can't
Love
argue with
him,
that.
love him, but
Right.
I'm
No,
not giving you $260 million and then you can't stay healthy. What am I going to have
right.
another Chris Bosh situation? No, thank you.
Or Lee Steinberg is going to ask you for guarantees, and you're going to say, okay, let's do this. We'll do this contract, and we'll give you those numbers, but he has to stay healthy. Less guarantees.
Lee
You can
Steinberg
earn it,
doesn't
but
sign bad contracts like that.
right. That's my point. So
Yeah, and you're not going to
that's
insult your
why what
starting
you
quarterback.
say. That's why what you say might be a little touchy because they won't like to do this. But hey, man, you got to prove to us that you're going to stay healthy. You're going to pay attention. You're going to do what we tell you because you can't come to the sideline and tell me, well, coach, I had to put my shoulder into that guy because I needed it for myself. What are you talking about, Tua? What the hell is wrong with you?
I'm not going to
What the hell
change.
is wrong with you? At that moment, that's when I want a coach to smack him right across the head and say, yo, what do you do? You don't need to tackle anybody,
we
bro.
sit in polar opposite positions on this. I'm not going to change the way he plays.
No, you got to change. He has to change, bro. He has to play the way Marino and Peyton and Breeze play.
Name me another person.
Brady and Brady. Just pick a guy, get rid of it in 3 seconds, bro, or less.
Nah, you can't do that. It's not his game. Not his game. Not his game.
No, his game is in Mahomes. That's where he gets in trouble. His game isn't Josh Allen.
That's where he gets in trouble. Not Josh Allen. No, his game is not Josh Allen.
Yes. And his game is in Mahomes or Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have those wheels. He doesn't have the 2 fat guys caught him in Alabama to blow out his hip. 2 fat guys. He has the athleticism.
You're really bringing that up. You and 2-9.
Baker Mayfield couldn't outrun a cop. Okay, that's who they are. So if Baker wants to play, he has to play the game that he has no athleticism. Don't run around. That's not who you are. They're going to catch you. Tua, that's not who you are. They're going to catch you.
Backup quarterback here.
Who, you like Baker? No. Here's the list. Are you ready?
Go ahead. Go for it. Hit me.
Gardner Minshew, Cooper Rush, Andy Dalton.
You got to slow down. Gardner Minshew. Okay.
Oh yeah, your memory's kind of bad. Cooper Rush, Andy Dalton, Taylor Heineke, Joe Flacco, Sam Darnold.
Hold on, you're too fast. Taylor Heineke,
Joe Flacco, and Sam Darnold.
Hell no,
Dalton,
Flacco.
With Dalton, Cooper Rush, and Minshew.
Why would you have Darnold over Baker Mayfield?
Oh, I didn't put. I'm not a Baker guy, so I didn't put it in the list. I'm not a Baker guy. I don't want. I don't want him here in this situation because then he starts talking shit and all that stuff. I don't need that. I'm a Gardner Minshew guy. If you gave me an order, Minshew 1, Dalton 2. No, Taylor Heineke 2, Dalton 3.
Dalton is not for me. But I hear what you're saying.
He's a perfect backup. He's a perfect backup. He played well in New Orleans this year as a backup.
Whatever. I would rather
like him as a backup. I don't like him as a starter. No. Get your mind out of starter. Backup. That's all I'm asking.
I'd rather have Teddy. Just me personally.
I'll take Dalton over Teddy. He's more durable, actually. I'll take Dalton over Teddy.
Oh, damn. You gonna hold Teddy? You gonna hold this crap against Teddy this year?
Yeah. Well, Teddy's had injuries all throughout his career, bro. It's not a thing this year. Teddy's had all kinds of injuries, bro. Come on.
I feel like you're cheating him, man. You're cheating him.
Okay. Out of the 6, which one are you going with? Oh, 7. I'm sorry. You have Baker in your list. Go ahead.
I like Gardner Minshew. I think he fits. I think he fits his coach. I I think I'm actually going to draft one. I want to draft one and invest.
Yeah, but you can't put a youngin to be your backup
I don't give a
when you're
shit.
trying. I just told you they're going to make a deep run in the playoffs next year.
Yeah, and
They're
I could draft a quarterback in the 3rd round or 4th round and have him
Well,
here.
So you're done with Skyler?
No, you're going to compete. Why can't have 3?
Oh, I see. So you want to go get a Gardner Minshew and draft a guy that's going to compete against
No.
Skyler?
I'm not going to get a free agent. I'm going to go young and invest young. I need to be cheaper, and quarterbacks are expensive, even backup quarterbacks. Where their cap situation is right now, and I don't believe in the cap.
No, but they can maneuver. They can free up some money. That's
how?
Tell
me how. Tell me how.
They'll guarantee some money for different guys.
Ooh, which guys? Name them.
X, they can do that. They can free up some money there.
I'm always trying to get rid of X, and then now you want to guarantee more money.
Oh no, X is gone next year. They have no choice. They have to.
And you can't guarantee them no money this year. But go on, continue. Who else you got?
I got to look at all the contracts,
bro. I've taken a quick look. Not much you could do. Jerome Baker and the things that you could do. Not really favorable. Jerome Baker.
No, Jerome Baker's not a favorable one. You are right.
No, they're all not favorable. They're all not favorable. Like
Connor is favorable. You can free up something from Connor. You can find a couple of guys. You can free up Tyreek.
Okay, I can free up something from Connor
and Tyreek.
I can, yeah, but remember, Tyreek is a pace setter. He's going to want to. If you're going to retouch his contract, he's still going to want to be the number 1 paid wide receiver in the NFL.
He still stays paid. It's just more guaranteed money. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you're moving it to the back end of the deal. That's all it is.
There got to be something in it for him, but he'll take the money. He will take the money because he's probably going to help the team. He's going to help the team. So
right. He's entrenched. And by the way, he's going to take the money because you're giving it to him up front now. So hell yeah, he's gonna take the money.
And then you got so many guys that you need to re-sign, like Christian Wilkins and Sealer.
And your guy, being facetious, of course, because he's my guy.
Who?
Andrew Van Ginkel. I would bring him back and give him a bigger role.
Oh my God! If he could handle a bigger role, he would have had it because they had nothing at linebacker.
No, he could. They just
really
I don't know why they don't. I don't know. It's beyond me why they don't give him a bigger role because every time he's on the field, he finds a way to make a play.
Dude. He does. He makes plays. I am always very good at figuring out ways to maneuver the monopoly money salary cap, which isn't real. This year, with the decisions that you've made, your moves, this is gonna be a hard one. This is probably the worst year that I've seen them financially in probably about 15 years. And they got some real tough decisions to make to keep this thing moving forward.
Yeah. No, but I think some of that stuff you can figure out things. And by the way, you just freed up more money because if you're not bringing back Teddy, that's another $6 million you're free.
Yeah, no, that's why I told you I'm going with a young quarter. I'm going with a young quarterback.
You're getting a cheaper quarterback. You're opening up money. Gesicki also comes off the books at 11 hard cap money.
Yeah, but that's not helping you because you're already capped out as
right. You're already capped out. Yeah, you're right.
You're already capped out. So,
By the way, Robert Hunt is coming up to getting paid next one more season.
No, there's a lot of guys.
And you're going to have to pay him.
You also have a 5th-year option for
he's a really good player.
Austin Jackson.
Well, no, but that's not an option. That's not an option, unfortunately, because the poor guy wasn't even injury prone, and this year he got injured, had the worst luck.
You're $16 million. Let's have the educated conversation. You're $16 million over the cap, which is over the projected cap, which is fine. It's not, the New Orleans Saints are usually like $74 million over the projected cap, and it never stops them from doing a damn thing. But you're going to have to restructure Agba. You're going to have to restructure Tyreek. You might have to touch on Chubb, even though you just did that deal. I'm not sure you're doing Armstead because of his injury history. Maybe Xavier is his base salary.
Connor.
Connor Williams and Cedric Wilson. Jesus Christ! Like,
well, you're trading him.
You better.
Well, no, they're going to try.
Ain't nobody trading that man. Like,
somebody will trade for him because you're not going to get a great pick in return because everybody knows that you're just trying to free up salary because of the position you were in that you signed them before the whole Tyreek mess.
At this point, I cut him and take my $2 million and keep it moving.
No, because if you can pick up some kind of a late round pick, you do that at least.
They don't need him. He did nothing this year at all.
I know, but they're still pretty good at drafting and finding guys late. So get a pick, get any kind of pick you can for him at least if you can. And you know what I don't know is here's the part I have to plead ignorance.
He was under contract.
Who? Sealer? He has one more year left.
Oh damn! He ain't got to do nothing with him. Sealer's under contract.
But you're on the break, but you still got to prepare that next year you're going to have to pay a couple of those guys. But by the way, the part I got to plead ignorance here is I'm not sure if you free up more money by cutting him or trading him. I'm not exactly sure.
Which guy?
With Cedric. That's the part I don't know.
Nobody's trading for his salary. He'd have to restructure. That has to be a Drew Rosenhaus special, and Drew has to find a home for him, which it's possible. But you get $2 million back if you get rid of him. And
I felt bad for him because the one position that didn't really suffer a ton of injuries was wide receiver. Those guys were playing most of the time, and he just wasn't going to get a lot of playing time there with those guys, man.
And you know with Cantor in a restructured deal for Xavier is not going to be easy. But Cantor.
I don't know if, but you're right. If you're cutting him next year, I don't know if you restructure him.
Yeah, it's possible. $4 million is guaranteed roster bonus due. Anyway. Because you don't know where that you got to see him play another year before you touch.
Well, he'll be super motivated next year. Because he either gets cut or he's playing for another team. So he has to. I think you're going to see a very motivated X. One, he has to get healthy because clearly he played like I don't know what the hell was wrong with him, but that dude either played like at 70% or less.
Did Jerome Baker restructure his contract? Because 2023 salary is guaranteed.
Oh, so then he did this last offseason.
Yes, I think he did. I can't.
Yeah, yes. I think you're right.
And so you can't really. You can. I guess you can give him. You can give him all of his base salary in a signing bonus. So that can free up about $7 million.
They'll find ways, bro, to free up some stuff and push it to the back and.
I mean, look at Emmanuel.
Pay for it down the line eventually, but they'll be able to maneuver some of it. They're not that deep in a mess that they can't create a little space. And they don't need to go out and spend like they did this past offseason. They only really need one or two pieces that you've really got to get, like a middle linebacker if it's available out in free agency. It's hard.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hard. I think you got to go in the draft and try to see if you can find a block.
No. You have the Hunter Long kid, the development. Like, no, go get your free agent tight end. I'm sorry.
They'll probably cut Flo's guy after this year.
Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that? You're so messy sometimes. Like, bro, it
was Flo's guy. It was a Boston College guy. Come on, that's what they did.
Is the running back they traded from the 49ers, is he a free agent? No, he's under contract.
Yeah, no, he was a 1 year contract, wasn't it? I want to say both guys were most.
Yes, Jeff Wilson is a free agent. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So you got both of your top two running backs as free agents.
Right, but they're not going to command a ton of money.
You're correct, but they're still a priority to re-sign.
So, I would draft a young guy there. You know what I mean? Although Salvon Ahmed, that some bitch came through every time, dude.
He's always been a very impressive, pleasant surprise. And They just
Like,
never. Boy, this is a first year in probably a decade the Dolphins don't have any cap carryover. This is like the worst they've been financially in a very long
well, that's
time.
because they actually have some players on the team now.
You're right. You're right.
So I told
Oh,
you the gap between Miami and Buffalo has been closed. The
man.
3 games prove it. 1 game is a fluke. 3 games
I
is
think
not a
Cincinnati
fluke.
gets them.
So yeah, Cincinnati's got some people's numbers. You know what I'm saying? It's just they own Kansas City, dude. They own Kansas City, and Kansas City's the best team in the conference, and freaking Cincinnati owns them, man. It's the craziest shit. And just like Kansas City owned Buffalo when they had Tyreek. It was like he was the ultimate, like, guy that would swing the pendulum between those two teams. Sometimes you just can't answer some of those things that happen, It's just weird like that.
Robert Hunt's got to be a priority. Whether you play him at right tackle or right guard, who knows? But locking him up has got to be a priority. 2 in that 5th-year option, definitely a priority. Unloading.
Brandon Shell. I got to bring back Brandon Shell.
You do. I'm curious to see what they. I mean, and Byron Jones. What's this situation?
He's gone this year. They'll cut him in June. He's a June cut.
Cut. You get back about $7 million. I mean, $5 million.
A June cut is what they'll do with him.
$5 million. He's possibly tradable. Maybe.
No, not after what he did this year. I don't think anybody's going to trade for him at this point.
Listen, I'm very disappointed in my peers because nobody has gotten to the bottom of the Byron Jones situation. I don't cover the team anymore. It probably take me like 1 phone call, but like somebody's. Why is this a big mystery? Why is like nobody?
It's not a mystery. I've been talking about it. He's barely been in the building. I've been telling everybody that for months. Been telling everybody he's had all kinds of setbacks, and he's Mr. I can't play if I'm perfect. If I'm not perfect, I can't go out there.
I understand where his perspective is because money's on the line. They tried to shake you down last year, and you stood your ground and triggered an injury clause, which was brilliant on your part. But now you have all these injury setbacks. He's a businessman. I've always said this. There are 53 businesses in the NFL on an NFL team, and every CEO needs to be looking out for his business. And Byron Jones did that. Now,
well, there are some cats that aren't smart enough to know that. Preston Williams. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But Byron Jones is damn sure smart enough to know that, and it's a dirty game, but when the NFL does it, plays it, nobody turns their nose up at them.
Right, I got you.
Byron Jones protected the business of Byron Jones.
Right.
He can't go out. You go out there, you put out bad film.
Right.
And now you're playing for $3 million instead of $9 million.
Right. Yeah. Can't argue with that. That is 100% right. All right. Tell them about I Am Athlete, what you got going on.
We have just introduced Ashley Nicole Moss as a new host on I Am Athlete.
Oh, okay.
She actually begins. We know her here down here for local talent, but she started at Sports Illustrated. I mean, was with Sports Illustrated, full-fledged member of the cast. We announced that earlier this week. And we actually begin or do our second taping of episodes this weekend down here in Miami. So looking forward to get that done.
There you go. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch him every week here with the EssentialMovingExperts.com Miami Dolphins Exchange. As always, appreciate you, my man. Thank you for taking the time. We'll catch up next week.
All right, catch up with you.
Thank you, sir. That is Omar Kelly, and call my friends at Essential Moving Experts. They will get it done. Sean Williams and the boys, they are absolutely amazing. They've been at this for a long time. See the number right there, 386-213-4054. Book now. There you go. 2 hours, 2 men, 26-foot truck, $350 right now. And by the way, their home base is in Daytona, but they handle the entire country. All right. So if you need short moving services within a county, within the state, long moving services from state to state across the nation. They can help you. Essential moving experts. Big Dolphins fans, by the way. As you can see, their business is all in Dolphins colors. So call my guy Sean Williams, 386-213-4054. Tell him that Big O sent you, man. 386-213-4054 for the essential moving experts.com.